Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about the Vampire Diaries, episode 712, titled Postcards from the Edge, which premiered Friday, February 12th, 2016 on the CW. Sorry guys, this is such a delay. Work was just so hectic this week that it caught up with me on Friday night. So yeah, so I'm here now. Let's talk right into it. And let's start at 10-minute clock, and let's begin. So something new that we learned in this episode. We have three different storylines, I guess. Kind of a fourth one, but I'm not really going to count it. I will mention it though. But first one has to be Damon's self-destruction after last episode where he kind of burnt Elena's body. So now he's dealing with the ramifications of that. And basically, it's Damon with a death wish. And he's going to Julian, trying to provoke him to get him to kill him. And eventually we see Damon in a vampire fight club where there's only one winner and they're the only ones that walk out of the ring. So Damon goes a few rounds like that. And then he's so desperate that he gets in the ring with Julian. Eventually, at this point, Stefan finds out what is happening. And he's trying to stop Damon and snap him out of it. But he's not budging for sure. It only takes until the very moment where Damon is about to be killed by Julian that Stefan, with the help of Valerie, stepped in with the whole that invisible popping in and out trick that the heretics usually have. So with Valerie's help, she subdues Julian long enough for Stefan to convince Damon to walk out of the ring with him and walk away from being killed. Although that doesn't really go well with Julian. So after that, when Stefan's trying to figure out why Damon is doing all this destructive things, that's when Stefan learns that Damon burnt Elena's body, and he is not happy about that. He throws a few punches at Damon, rightfully so, but it seems to be that Damon wants to feel pain. Even Stefan brings it up. He doesn't want Damon to shut off his emotions, yet Damon says that he doesn't want that. He wants to feel it all. He wants to feel the pain. He feels like he doesn't deserve anything. He wants to swim in that self-loathing because of what he did to Elena. So there's that. And Stefan's reeling from the fact that Damon's going down this, as well as he technically killed Elena. So there's that as well. And Valerie is with him, trying to help him out. And eventually, for these two, because Stefan is viewing Julian as the sole source of everything that's happened. What happened to Valerie back in 1863, for what happened to their town, what happened to him destroying Lily and her compassion within her because she fell in love with Julian, his abuse and everything like that. And Stefan blames Julian for what happened with Damon because he got stuck in the Phoenix Stone because Julian put him there. And so he's had enough. Stefan wants Julian dead, and Valerie agrees to help him. And in the end, the two of them kill Julian. And they do it very clever. I'm glad that Stefan didn't just go in by himself. I'm glad that he had Valerie there to help him out because she gave him the edge he needed to do it. Okay, next storyline has to do with Caroline's pregnancy. Turns out that, due date's coming soon. One thing, Alark is not with her because he's in Dallas doing a job interview there with the university, I think it was. So anyways, Caroline deals with the fact that she has these stomach pains, and she later learns that she's growing weaker because the twins are siphoning the magic from her vampire blood out of her. They're basically sucking the life out of her. And they learn this through Valerie. Although they did take her to the hospital, which confirmed the fact that she was weaker than usual. But Valerie confirmed that the twins were siphons. And that's why. So Valerie tried to have a necklace that provides a magic source for the twins to absorb from instead of from Caroline. And that was before she went to help Stefan with Damon. But while Valerie's away, it turns out that necklace or that bracelet wasn't helping, and Caroline starts to desiccate along the limbs of her body, and doesn't seem like she has much time until she's fully desiccated and stuff like that. Though it's not clear whether she desiccates because she's truly dead, or if she desiccates like the two vampires did when they didn't have any blood in them. So that's it with Caroline. Next, it has to do with Bonnie getting the help from Nora and Mary Louise to find the Huntress. And we actually get a name for her and a bit of a backstory with them. And Huntress's name is Reina Cruz, and we find out that she was gifted the gift of strength and the Phoenix Sword by a shaman. And because the Reina sent out these postcards, they want to find her before she finds them. And that leads them to an hospital or an asylum where they find an old lady strapped down to a bed who claims to not know who they are, but eventually we find out that it's just all a ploy and it is Raina. Old age just has messed with her head and everything like that. And eventually Bonnie gets too close. Raina tries to kill her, and she is saved by Enzo, who kills Raina by throwing a knife at her throat. And Enzo, long story, he tells Bonnie that Matt's the reason why he's been gone, but eventually it turns out that Enzo took the body. When Bonnie went to retrieve the two heretics, Enzo took Raina's body. And we find him later on, I think with an incinerator, because he's burning the Huntress's body, and then only later for her younger version of herself to emerge from the smoke and steam of her burnt body. And she's like, yeah, so don't know why Enzo wanted to do that, but apparently he seems to be on the Huntress's side. But it looks like Raina's kind of like the mythical phoenix, where you'd have to die only to be reborn from the ashes of your former body type thing. It kind of looked like that, which I thought was pretty cool, despite the fact that she's the next villain. And also a little side thing, when Nora and Mary Louise, they kind of had some talk. I got a bit distracted at that point with a phone call, but they may or not have moved forward in the right direction, so there's that. Okay, moving on, side story now is Matt. He actually has to give Officer Penny the whole "there are vampires out there" speech, and they're trying to process everything. Not sure if she's actually going to stick around Mystic Falls and help him out in his crusade to save the town from a vampire infestation, but she even calls him crazy for doing it, or bravely stupid, or stupidly brave, or something like that. I don't know. But according to the flash forwards, which we only see at the end of the episode, so 3 years from now, we see Raina's actual face, and she has Damon within her sights tied up, and she also has Matt delivering a vervained Stefan to her, and Matt claiming he wants nothing to do with Raina anymore, and she seems to agree that, yes, I'm done with you, you can go away, type thing. So there's that. So it was the most shocking moment of the episode. At first I'd have to say that when they found Raina Cruz being an old woman, I thought it was a mistake at first. I thought maybe they just found the wrong room and that wasn't Raina, but then to find out that it actually was Raina Cruz, the Huntress, that really surprised me, because I was under the impression that she was this young Huntress who doesn't age. I thought she was like another Michael, where he was a vampire, an immortal vampire hunter who didn't age. So the fact that she does age and then she does die only to be reborn again from her own ashes, as you can say, that was surprising in itself. It's cool that maybe she could actually be, maybe phoenixes exist in this show, but it was pretty cool to see how that resurrection happened for her. Yeah. So top 3 favorite moments. First one has to be the fact that Stefan and Valerie teamed up to help Damon out in his situation to get him out of that whole Fight Club thing. I really like that they teamed up. I really like the way Stefan tried to try to approach and talk to Damon and get him to step out of his destructive ways for a moment and kind of think about what was happening. But I really like how Stefan made Damon or made him care enough to walk away with him, because he even stated that if Julian killed Damon, then Stefan would have to kill Julian, and then all of Julian's followers will kill Stefan. So if Damon wanted Stefan to walk away alive, then Damon had to walk away with him. So there's that. Another favorite moment was the fact that Julian was finally killed, and rightfully so, by Stefan with Valerie by his side. It was a long time coming. I kind of should have anticipated it because of the fact that we got introduced to Raina Cruz officially in this episode. And since Julian was the villain for, I guess, the second section of the season, suffice to say, it only made sense that he would be killed once the third villain of the season were to appear. So there's that. Another favorite moment for me has to be Enzo killing Bonnie. The moment that Enzo showed up to do that, I was like, yes, finally, where have you been? And then he rushes to Bonnie's side to check her over to see if she's like has any injuries or anything. I really got a caring vibe from him for her, and I really like that for sure. I miss their scenes together, and I want to see more of those. Although I don't think she's going to be very happy when she sees him again, because he took Raina's body right from under her after lying to her, so there's that. Another favorite moment, bonus, I would say, would have to be Bonnie and Nora. Bonnie actually calls Nora out saying, "You're using me to make Mary Louise jealous." While I didn't really like that, I did like the fact that she brought it up. I did like the dynamic we saw during the road trip between Bonnie and Nora. They seem to have grown a great friendship, maybe, or they're on the verge of that, and I really like that. And I hope we see more of it. There's a timer. Hope we see more of that later on. And yeah, I actually like Bonnie and Nora together better than I do Mary, Louise, and Nora. I'm just saying. So, top 3 peeved moments. The fact that Alaric is away on an interview in Dallas. I get it that he'd have to go and do the interview, but you would think that he would be more present when Caroline is the surrogate for his twins. I didn't like that Alaric has been away a lot this season, especially when he's part of the main cast and not just a recurring character. Another thing that irritated me was the fact that Enzo is aligned with the Huntress, or it looks like he's aligned. We definitely learned in this episode, which I forgot to mention earlier, was that Enzo was the one that sent out those X-marked postcards to Julian and the Heretics as a way to get them to find Reina so he could follow them to get to her. So I don't know if he's meant to just resurrect her or if he's actually aligned with her, but he's a vampire, so wouldn't she be like enemy number 1 to him if her sole purpose is to kill vampires? I don't know, but I didn't like that Enzo aligned with her. So there's that. The last peeved moment has to be Damon and that random woman from the Fight Club. I didn't like her at first. I thought she would have been Reina if we hadn't actually seen Reina as okay, so when we saw the older woman and they were claiming that she was Reina and she was claiming that no, she wasn't, I thought that woman at the Fight Club might have been Reina because we hadn't seen her younger face yet. But then when they revealed to her that she was Reina, my theory was shot. But I didn't like the fact that whatever happened with Damon and that woman back at the Lockwood Mansion, I didn't like that for some odd reason. It's just that, I don't know, I understand, like, Damon loves Elena, I get that, but then I think he wouldn't have done anything with that woman if he think that Elena was still alive. At this point in his mindset, he thinks that Elena is dead, he burnt her body, and he's not really committed to her anymore. So unless he's with that woman to build up the guilt he's going to feel afterwards for betraying Elena, I don't know. But you would think with the emotions that Damon has for Elena, you think that he would still be faithful, in a sense, to her for the 60 years. I mean, he definitely wasn't faithful to Catherine, but yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I felt uncomfortable about it just because of the fact that I already know how in love Damon is with Elena, unless she truly expected him to stay celibate while she was under a sleeping curse, or if she truly was okay with him still sleeping around and seeing other people in the 60 years that she was expected to be asleep for. I don't know, but it just didn't feel right with me. It felt weird. So there's that. What will I remember most when I look back on this episode? The fact that we got Reina Cruz's name, and the fact that we got Vampire Fight Club. There's that. So random questions, quickly, I'm definitely going over, I do apologize for that, but the first one is that it's very clear in this episode that Damon truly believes that he killed Elena by burning her body. However, in the flash forward we saw back in 701, in the premiere of the season, Damon clearly said to Stefan that he wasn't to be awoken until Elena was awake. Therefore, giving the impression that Elena's body is still perfectly fine 3 years from now. I even went to double check by finding that clip. Now, what do you think? Do you think that that flash forward just is a reassurance to the fact that Damon didn't really kill Elena by burning her body? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And next question, did anyone else think that Alaric would be more present, especially when Caroline has that whole surrogate pregnancy storyline going on with his twins? I did mention it as a peds moment, but it's just, I'm seeing Alaric less and less when I should be seeing him more and more. Every time we see Caroline, especially with her being pregnant, I would expect to see Alaric close beside her, if anything. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Next question is, what in the world is Enzo up to? Where do his loyalties truly lie? With Enzo, it's a hard one. First he was aligned with Lily, and now he seems to be aligned possibly with Reina Cruz, And I don't know, it's always seemed to be against those we're supposed to align with, which is our Mystic Falls gang. But yeah, I really don't like that I don't know where Enzo's loyalties lie. I like his character. He brings an interesting edge to it. It's just, yeah. What do you guys think? Last question. Now, we are under the impression that being a siphoner witch is pretty rare. So I'm wondering if the odds of Alaric's twins, the future Gemini Coven leaders, being siphon witches, which Valerie confirmed in this episode, if that is because their Uncle Kai was a siphon and he was the leader of the coven when the twins were conceived. Do you think that connection is plausible? Do you think I'm just overreaching? Let me know in the comments below, because we seem to be meeting a lot of siphon witches when we're under the impression that they are not that common. So, yeah. So quickly, predictions. Based off the promo for episode 713, we're definitely going to see a history on Reina Cruz, the Huntress, and she's going to be out for blood, and she seems to be heading towards Mystic Falls. According to the synopsis, we are going to see Caroline's life being endangered due to the pregnancy, and we're also going to see Enzo turning to Damon for help to find Reina. So there's that. And overall predictions for me, since we know based off the flash forwards that Reina was subdued for a little while before her reawakening, since Damon allowed himself to be desiccated and stored in a coffin until 3 years, until Stefan is waking him up telling him that she's back. I think the second half of this season is going to focus on how she is subdued for those 3 years. We definitely know they don't kill her because she's in the flash forward, so they're definitely going to have to put her on ice somehow. And we're going to have to figure out how, since she is immune to magic. We learned in this episode when Bonnie tried to use some of it and it didn't work. So they're going to have to get creative for sure. Next prediction is that Caroline's pregnancy needs to come to term very soon. Either she's going to go in a labor at some very high fashion event, or not high fashion, classified event, or she's going to be taken and it's going to be, I don't know, I think she's going to give birth very soon though. And another prediction is that everyone is going to learn about what Damon did to Elena's body. And maybe then they could have Elena or one of the heretics confirm whether or not Elena is actually dead or not. Since I still think that she's not. I think her body is preserved from any harm while under the sleeping spell. So there you have it. What did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below about your own thoughts, theories, and opinions. I'd love to hear about it. Also, don't forget to like this video, check out the rest of my videos, and subscribe as well if you want to be up to date on my postings. As you can tell, this week I'm a little behind. Hopefully I can get right on track for the future weeks to come. And also, if you want a more detailed play-by-play of what happened in the episode, check out my live journal entry. A link for that will be down below. I'll be posting that very shortly as well. And also, if you want more news about the Vampire Diaries, whether that's promos, episode synopses, quotes, GIFs, dialogues, any of that, check out my Tumblr page. All that is as organized as I can get it. Link for that will be down below as well. And that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I hope you guys come back next week to see what I have to say. And until next time, this is Mel wishing you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye-bye for now.